are you guys? First and foremost, thank you very much for coming out. It's a Tuesday evening. It's way outside, but you guys chose to come here. I want to say big up to Boxpark. We put this event together with like no time, so massive shout out to them. Also want to say a big up to Soul Gigs, because not a lot of promoters would have allowed us to have a free event on their dime. So big up to Soul Gigs as well. And I want to say a massive shout out to the lady that we're all here to see, celebrating the 15th anniversary of Complex Simplicity. Please make some noise for the lioness, Teedra Moses. Let's get this right. There you go. It's right. It's cold. It is cold. It is cold. One more time. A warm welcome for Teedra Moses. Hey. Walk one. She's like, you're like real London, aren't you?
Huh?
I say this to you all the time. Like, you're really from here.
No, I just love the culture so much. It is so many cultures.
Yeah.
Hey, boo, she was at the show the other night. Hey, what's up, girl?
Who else was at the show? Who else was at the show? Pull up, man. And I mean, because you come here a lot. Like, tell us a little bit about your relationship with the UK.
I mean, this is the best way to explain my relationship and my love. First of all, I haven't seen him. Hey, baby. How you doing?
We're real friends.
We're real friends.
We are.
First of all, this is like the epitome of my relationship with the UK. First place I ever heard everyone sing every lyric and melody to every song on Complex Simplicity was at the Jazz Cafe. I really didn't have any clue, because in America it wasn't popping. I mean, the songs I was writing for other megastars was popping, but not my own, you know. I went to Baltimore, did a set, you know, they looked at me strange throughout the entire set until I got to Be Your Girl, then they sang along. So it was the first time I heard them sing one song. But when I got to London, every single word, every single every single ad-lib. So, like, I think honestly, London is the place that made me realize I could do this as an artist, not just as a writer.
And there's something about the Jazz Cafe that I think, like, you seem very at home on that stage.
Oh yeah,
it's magic in there.
Coco's is a great spot too, but I think I like intimacy. You know, like, I definitely would love to one day do arenas and stuff like that, but the whole thing for me is just figuring out how to get that energy and trap it and keep it real close, because Jazz Cafe, like, the energy is hardcore. Like, it's so good. I really want to stage dive when I'm up there. I do, but I just feel like, yo, they're not gonna catch me. It's gonna go all bad.
I mean, so we're here to celebrate Complex Simplicity. Come on, big album, amazing album. Like, when I say the title, Complex Simplicity, what does that mean to you?
That was the direct state of mind I was in. That was the direct state of life I was in at the time. You know, like, life was a little bit tricky. You know, I had kids. They were about 5. My mom had just died. I was just in my children's father had just caught him in bed. I walked in our house and he was in bed with another woman. You know what I mean? So there was some wild, you know, ish going on. So I was in a place where things felt very complicated, but I felt like I was complicating them more. And I also felt like at that time I realized that life is simpler than you're making it. You know what I mean? Like, and I think somewhere around about 5 years after that, because I ain't gonna act like a lie and act like I figured it out when I was writing the album. About 5 years after that, I realized, like, you know, you just gotta kind of live your life a little bit more simple. If it feels good, go in that direction. I always say, if it feels good to you, let it ride. You know what I mean? If it's too complicated without enough good result, it's a waste of time. You know, you exert energy that you don't even need to exert, you know, so.
We spoke about this before, about the fact that you made a classic. People call it the R&B Illmatic, which I think is a sick.
That's so, because you know how much I love that.
We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. But did you know that you were setting out to make this classic? Could you hear that it was gonna do things when you were making it?
No. First of all, I was an independent artist before that was cool. So, you know, I'm just like, I'm gonna make this little album, you know, cool. I hope Mary like it, you know what I mean? I hope Faith like it, you know what I mean? I hope Erykah Badu like it. That's kind of what my thought pattern was. I wasn't thinking that people would relate in the way they have. And that's wild because I really was just talking about my life. I really, more than anything, when one person could relate, I was like, oh, I'm not the only crazy motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the only crazy person. But yeah, I didn't have any clue.
And at what point did you realize, yo, we made a classic here? Like, was there a certain person that was like, yo, this the shit? Or was it like a certain time you heard on the radio? Was there just what was the moment when you
Probably about 3 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
That, like, it took you that long?
It took me a while
Why?
to realize because maybe I live in the States where, you know, it's not cool to show how much you love something. Like, y'all are different, you know what I mean? Like, y'all really show love. In other places they show love. In the States they show love. I'm not fronting. They show love, but it's like pocket, like, you know, our culture is a little bit more like, you know, it's cooler to be hard or whatever. So people didn't really let me know, especially other artists. I was indie. So it's like, didn't matter how good the music was, they weren't gonna tell me I was good because I wasn't a major label artist, you know. And just probably about, I'll say maybe 5 years ago, other artists that I really respect started being like, yo, you the truth. Like, nobody has made it out, you know what I mean? So that's when I started to come and understand, because I wasn't gonna gauge it that way myself. And I did appreciate the people that were telling me this, but I think over time, when I just saw how it lived and grew, like, you have people, Ace, that'll come to me and say, girl, I just got your new album. And I'll be like, oh my God, I put out Cognac and Conversation like 5 years ago. Oh, you got another one? They're talking about Complex Simplicity. So it's like, when I realized that it was standing time, that's when I was like, okay, we did something. Which I will say this, I take no credit. I was just a vessel. I was in so much pain, you know, and going through so much stuff that, like, I just was like literally bleeding it out. So it wasn't something I conjured up. It just happened. I can't take credit for that.
Like, not a lot of artists can do that. Like, 15 years later, people are still discovering your music. What do you attribute that to? How is it possible that people today are still just finding you?
I think, without sounding arrogant, it was ahead of its time. I think that I was on a certain way. To be honest with you, if I can just be very honest, I stole that whole vibe from Aaliyah's Rock the Boat. I wanted an album that sounded like Rock the Boat, you know, because it had like a 90s vibe, and I'm really nostalgic. I mean, not 90s, 80s. I was really nostalgic for the 80s because at the time I just lost my mom. So when I thought about the time where she wasn't sick, we still lived in New Orleans, we hadn't moved away from my dad, they hadn't separated, which was a good thing, but at the time it just felt like it was so comforting. The music of like Sherelle and Tina Marie and Angela Wimbush, that stuff was really comforting to me. So I wanted to make an album that was comforting to me. You know, I did all this selfishly. I didn't do this, I wasn't thinking about nobody else but myself. So that's the sound I wanted, and I think that was helpful. Like the fact that it was like nostalgic to a certain amount of people. But even though we did something nostalgic, we did it progressively. So I think it sounds kind of timeless. With the exception of some drum sounds, you pretty much can, that's gonna rock for, and I'm not saying this to sound arrogant, I'm just saying this in the sense of like, I'm really not, I think it's just like that sound, like we can play Sherelle now, Sunday, Monday, I mean, we can play that today, you know? So it's like, I think it has those elements of that timeless sound.
That class of R&B singer that you were in when you first came out, like we had some big names, I'm not gonna mention it because I just wanna know if do you feel like they felt the pressure? Like, were they like, right, who's this new independent girl that's made a classic album? Do you feel like there was a little bit of hate or a little bit of like animosity because yours just went?
They didn't care about me, I'm trying to tell you. I was not a threat. I was on a little independent named TVT. The fact that we got over here was a big deal, you know, and that was only through the strength of Lil Jon and Ying Yang Twins that we had that kind of, you know, impact, because people saw the green sleeve and they would look because they knew Lil Jon and Ying Yang Twins, but they didn't care. Like, I swear to you, I love all these indie artists now that are doing their thing. I love it, but if they would have came out 15 years ago, nobody would have cared. Nobody cared. And I think this was music lovers. That's why I'm think about the music first and before anything, Ace, because the music lovers are the ones that made me realize, oh, we doing something, because the industry did not care.
What is the song, or what are the songs from the album that everybody comes to talk to you about? Yo, I can really relate to that. That song really touched me deeply. What are the songs that would you say are the most close to the fans?
Okay, it's according to what kind of fans. So we got our ratchets. Okay?
Let's go with the ratchets first.
Okay, we'll go with the ratchets first. The ratchets always love You Better Tell Her. Because literally, I don't know what show you were at. No, sure. Oh, yeah. No, I'm not fighting nobody for no man.
Did he tell her though?
No, he never told
her, man.
It was too many to tell. It was too many to tell. But the one I told the one I found in my bed, you know, I was like, girl, listen, I could have killed you. Like, you don't be in nobody's house. She's like, I didn't know, but look, there's pictures on the wall of me and my children, baby.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, I think the ratchets really love You Better Tell Her. I think that the more sexually free girls like Backstroke.
Yeah.
More spiritual people, they like I Think of You, you know, and then I think the girls that are just like super kind of well-rounded but kind of fly, they like Caution.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are your favorite tunes? Anyone? Caught Up, Backstroke. You guys, if you got any questions for Teedra Moses, please hang up. We'll get to the questions as well. You tour all the time, like you're constantly on the road.
Gotta eat.
Do you still? You still enjoy it?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Like this, I'm big on energy. You know, I get into the exchange. You know, if I go, sometimes I do jazz clubs and they're all sitting down and I'll be like, ooh, please stand up and jump with me, you know. But I can tap into that too. And then sometimes they do because it's so powerful, they get up out of their seats, you know what I mean? But I love energy. I love exchanging with people. It's not vanity at all. It's like almost like food, like you need it. You need that. And I spend a lot of time alone. I live alone. My kids have moved on to Los Angeles. I live in Miami by myself. Wear our suntan and smoke lots of marijuana. But you know, so when I do get out on the road, it's beautiful because it's genuine. Like I can literally look and see it's genuine. Like you might not know me, but somehow I've touched you and that touches me, you know?
I gotta say, like, watching you over the last few years, you really enjoy social media.
I do.
You love it.
I do.
What is it? Where did that come from? Like,
listen, I'm not new to this, okay? I've been like doing this whole thing of communicating with the direct to the fans since chat rooms. TVT used to have a chat room. This was pre-MySpace, okay? TVT had a chat room. Then it went on to MySpace. I never got into Facebook. It was a little too complicated. Still don't know how it works. I don't go to that. I don't know how that works. But I just like no middleman because I'm a very no nonsense, no BS person. And when you take the middleman out of anything, it's on and popping. Cause like if you put me anywhere with anybody that's on some realness, we gonna click. And that's how it is with the people. Like I really admire the people that like my music. They straight up, they real people. So like they'll say something to me and then it'd be a little bit out of pocket, you know what I mean? But I can take it because at least you're being honest, you know? Or they'll say something to me that's out of pocket completely that I'm not going to take and I'll curse them out. And they understand that because I'm a real person too, you know? So it's cool. It's like we understand each other.
I think once upon a time, like, artists were so far away.
I hate that.
You couldn't touch them, you couldn't speak to them. Now they're just a tweet away. They might jump back in the DMs with you or whatever.
They be in my DMs. I get marriage proposals at least like 3 times. I've gotten penises before. I wasn't interested in that, but it was interesting that they sent it. You know what I mean? But yeah, you know, and that's cool. But I also think some people should not be on social media.
Okay.
Cause they ain't cool. And I'm not gonna say no names, but some people just not cool. Like, I liked you better when I thought you was that was on, you know, making the music.
Yeah.
I just happen to be exactly who you think I am.
That is a fear though. Like sometimes you get to know the artist and you're like, you're actually not as cool as I thought you were.
It's whack, man.
Yeah. Have you ever had to clap back at somebody and
always
fall back? Do you feel bad about it after?
Never.
Never.
No.
Absolutely never.
Don't come for me. I mean, don't send for me or however it goes. Don't come for me. I don't know. But either way, don't try me because I'm not a celebrity. I'm not. Am I Ace?
Well, you are.
I'm not.
I'm trying to tell you what she is.
I'm not. Ace be like, you don't know who you are. No, I know clearly who I am, and I'm not a celebrity.
No,
I'm a normal person. I'm y'all. You know what I'm saying? And if somebody say something to you, are you gonna consider what everybody's gonna think? No, you're just gonna say how you feel. And the thing is, it's coming from my heart. I'm being genuine, and I'm not a mean person. I'm not a mean-spirited person. So if you come at me with the madness, I'm gonna give it back, and you're not gonna be able to handle it. Because if you shoot me, I'm gonna still. I'm not the one.
New Orleans and us.
Yeah, 504, baby.
Something I found out on social media actually was when you were doing a breakdown of the Complex Simplicity album, and you spoke about Be Your Girl and the fact that you wrote that song for Nas.
Yes, I mean, so listen.
You guys know that? Okay, so she wrote that for Nas.
Well, okay, so I wrote it with him in mind. Like, I didn't think about it in the sense, well, that's a lie. I thought maybe he would like hear it or see the video. I'm like, dang, she really, she hot. Like, let me talk to her. Like, I really thought that I was gonna lure him in with my powers of songwriting and visuals on the video.
He was married at the time, right?
No.
He wasn't married at the time.
No, he wasn't. When I wrote Be Your Girl, like, yo, I'm not into that.
No,
I'm not. Listen, he wasn't. And I literally had to like stay in my house for 3 days when I realized he was marrying Khalees, because we didn't know about their relationship.
Right.
It just was like, now they dating and they getting married. And I was like, my manifestations did not work. Yeah, but even more so than anything was like, he wasn't in my neighborhood. I didn't see him around the way. It was just like he was the ideal person in my mind. And the sample is from one of his records. I think it's called One on One or whatever. So, but we've met each other since then and we kiki about it or whatever. It's cool,
It wasn't an awkward conversation with Khalees or nothing like that.
No. I used to work with Khalees.
Oh, right.
I used to work wardrobe styling for Khalees. Like, at that time, Khalees was not. It was around the time when he made Godson, so they might have been dating. But I didn't know. No one knew they were dating. It was on the low until they got married, and it was like, wait, that's over. I didn't even have a crush anymore.
The K Trinada remix of that though just took it somewhere else.
Yeah, man.
Did you know that was coming, or did you guys work together before? Was that a conversation, or was it just something that kind of?
K Trinada was just a really dope young. He's like 19 years old at that time. Really dope young producer, and we just worked it out. We just worked that thing out, and I didn't expect it to do that, but it did. And not only did it do it, it's been doing it for like 5 years now. I've literally seen that grow into at least 10 other remixes that I didn't monetize. Well, I should go back and do that, but 4 or 5 other mixes that have grown to be really huge. But that, to me, that's my baby. Like, K Trinada is a true talent. He's a perfectionist. He's an awesome person to work with, and I'm just blessed. I tell him all the time, I owe you everything, because he brought a whole nother generation to my music. I have 16 years old, like, oh my God, I love auntie. I'm like, that's so cute. You know what I mean? How would these 16-year-olds know who I am?
And I know we got new music coming as well.
Yes.
Talk to us about that.
It's called, can I curse on here?
Who she can?
Okay, it's called The Bullshit. I've been being really good, you notice that, right? I wasn't sure, I said ish and everything. It's called The Bullshit, and it's basically, it's just a compilation of songs that deal with my choices after my children left to go away, because my sons are 24 years old now. They probably were about 5 or 6 when we started doing this, and I put aside a lot of things to focus on getting money and taking care of my kids. And men can be a distraction if they're not there to help. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they're not coming in to like, oh, okay, I'm gonna help her out in this situation. I see her, I see what she's doing. She needs help. Let me help her. If they're not doing that, then they're distracted. So I put all that aside for a very, very long time. No dating, no nothing, whatever. So by the time the twins went away, I was like, oh, it's popping. I can do what I want to do. And I went out there and I was like, I'm gonna have a boyfriend. So I met this guy, this really cute guy, really cool guy, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I thought, you know what sign he was?
No.
Tell me what sign he was. You know what sign he was.
I have no idea.
What sign are you? He was a Libra. You know my situation with Libras.
He's a Libra.
So,
What's with Libras?
Yeah, we love you. We love you, Ace. Okay. We love you. And so, I did this situation with him, and it was just like, I was naiver than I thought I was, you know what I'm saying? And I thought that I could control the situation, but there was a lot of bullshit that he was on that I had to realize that's because I allowed it. And throughout the album, I just kind of deal with the fact that first I'm like, it's your bullshit, it's your bullshit, or it's somebody else's bullshit, or it's life's bullshit. But what I learned in making this album, it is my bullshit. It's only our bullshit. That's the only bullshit that exists, because it's the way you react to shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if somebody is selling you something or giving you something, you ain't gotta take it. Now do you? You don't have to take it. So it's your bullshit for your expectations, or you trying to make somebody they're not. You know what I mean? All these different things. So that's what the album really deals with. It starts off me just popping off as somebody else. By the time I come back around, so it's like, oh, it's me. How did I get here? Then after I get there and I figure out how I got there and I'm over it, then I go have some drinks and smoke some weed and land in the sun. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you deal with the bullshit.
A regular occurrence.
First single is gonna be called Cashmere Compliments.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a good vibe too. It's a really good vibe.
Can we talk about the kind of studio session that we had last time you were in the UK?
Yes, of course. I love that record, by the way. Thank you so much for inviting me on that.
I don't know if that's actually going to happen. Oh, no, I'm not even talking about that one. I'm talking about the rapper that jumps on.
Oh, yeah.
Will that come out if it's ever anytime soon?
It's not on that album. Because I tried to fit it on. It just didn't fit the sound of that album.
Imagine this.
He plugged me.
Teedra Moses and Gigs.
It's hard too. It's a really hard record. He plugged me. We had so much fun that night. First of all, I just want to thank Ace, because he's really my friend, first of all. And he always puts me in position when I'm out here. Like, I never have to worry. Like, if Ace is here, he got me. You know what I mean? Like, he plugs me whatever. Even when I don't ask for things, he plugs me. So I'm very, very appreciative.
It's all good, man. It's love. It's all love.
Okay, bro.
Anybody got a question? Anything you want to say about an album? We got a question over here. Kana. Oh, you put your mic up. There you go.
So you're a normal person, obviously.
Yes.
How do you take, like, when people come up to you in the streets? Because obviously you're not a normal person.
I am.
You're a normal person, but you're a well-known normal person.
Okay, I'll take that.
There we go. So how do you, like, take it when people come into your personal space a bit too much in public?
I handle that very well, you know, because I'm appreciative. And when you meet everything with gratitude, you can handle things pretty easily. Like, so like in any situation where they're being a little bit extra, then I tell them, you know what I'm saying? So we can just mellow this thing out and be normal, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then we move on about our way. Like, this is one guy that I love to death. On Instagram, his name is Jay Forever Bless. His name in real life is James Ingram. He's my biggest fan of, you know this guy, right? Like, if you follow me, you know this guy, right? So, and he follows everyone he's just a really great guy. But he's never strange, like, because we have a relationship. It's a real relationship. He understands I'm a real person. So it's like, it doesn't get strange, because if it gets strange, I'm going to tell your ass. Don't be strange, because I ain't being strange with you. You know, we're both just regular people having an exchange. And anything outside of that is weird to me. And I don't like weird shit, you know?
We got any more? Here we go at the front.
Hi. I'm loving the gems that you're dropping, by the way.
I'm dropping gems.
So inspired.
I'm a jeweler.
I'm an artist as well.
Oh, cool.
I just wanted to know, like, how's it been for you, like, developing your team as you go along in your career?
Good question.
Because, I find that there's so many changes with, like, working with different musicians and producers. So, like, how have you managed, like, keeping your core team around?
You know what? Where is the core team? Where does she go to be? That's the core team right there. That's my sister. Our company
She's
is
on
called,
job all the time.
That's my sister. Our company is called Black Moses Music, and this is the basis of it, right? So this is the basis, right? So she's my partner. So any music you hear from me, it would not come unless she was my, like, she's the other half of the business part of things. So I get to be an artist because I have someone completely handling the business side. And she also, which is a blessing, happens to be a great A&R too. You know what I'm saying? So this is the core of my team. Then from that, we just kind of hire out from that. Whether it's another person as a core of my team when it comes to live shows is Jay Black. I don't know if you've ever seen him on stage with me. Wonderful guy. That's my brother. Then we build from that. But a team is very important. I think the number one person is the person that allows you to be an artist. That's the most important person, and your lawyer, so you get your money right. But the main person is that person that says, just go make art. I'm gonna figure this part out. You know what I mean? Or you go do that, and and she does that for me. And I swear to you, I promise you, you would not have heard anything past Complex Simplicity, or maybe not even heard that. because she came in right, when we kind of finished the musical production part. But one of the things that has been helpful to me, as far as the music goes and the creativity of it, is knowing my sound and understanding my sound. See, I'm a songwriter, right? So for a certain part of time after Complex Simplicity, I had tracks coming from all the hottest producers. This wasn't all my sound. It wasn't always my sound, but I could write polka music. I'm a songwriter, so I can write anything. So I was just writing, and I had to realize, even though some of this stuff is really great and it's wonderful, it's not my sound. So maybe I give this away to someone. And then when I stopped giving songs away and writing songs for others, I had to just really hone into my sound. So it matters who's on the team, they're on the team giving me my sound. You don't want someone that's pulling you away from what you've built. You know what I mean? So that has sustained me.
What was the biggest song that you gave away that was yours previously?
Dip it low,
That was yours.
pick it up slow.
Christina Milian.
Yeah.
That was definitely yours. Wow.
Yeah, but I don't think I was gonna do that video. I mean, I'd probably be more prone to do that motherfucker now. But I wasn't gonna do it then. Like, I was hella shy, and like, she killed that. Like, she killed the video. Like, she carried it, and I don't think I could have carried that.
We got any more questions? Right here.
Hey, another artist as well.
Yeah.
Just trying to do my thing.
You're not trying, girl. You doing? Don't ever use the word trying. Ever.
Thank you. Between the two albums, I know you said you've got one coming up. Like, has there been any differences in hurdles, or like even trying to like market, just kind of on like the back end of the creative side? Like, has there been any hurdles that you've come
Oh yeah, hella hurdles. So first of all, my first album came out on an indie, but it was one of the biggest indies in America. So I still had some power behind me. The second one came out even more indie, and from 2008, which is when TVT Records, my original record label, went bankrupt, I have been funding myself. So it's not easy, because this is my show money, this is my royalties, this is my sound exchange, my BMI, this is what's funding my music, and friends support, you know what I mean? So like, it's not been easy at all. It's been lots of hurdles, just trying to pay people, trying to make sure your show, because in my mind, I don't care if I'm indie. I want to be just as good as Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? So like, everything costs so much, and I don't want to shortchange you because I don't have what I need, because we all have God. And if I got God, then I got everything Beyonce got. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I have to look at it. But the hurdles, they did come. We used to try to find managers, because it's just me and my sister. We used to try to find this big manager. Oh, if we just had this big manager, if we just had this big publicist, if we just had, and we just have to keep on going. And like, what has happened is the industry turned around for me. You know what I'm saying? It came down to me. Now, artists that I looked up to will hit me and be like, okay, how do you do this indie thing? I'm like, shit, I don't know. I've just been surviving, and now we're thriving, praise God.
Do you feel like with the change in the music industry, you've had a head start being an independent all this time, and obviously now a lot of people are just putting their music out themselves.
Yeah.
You feel like you're ahead of the game in that sense?
Ace. I used to throw a mixtape out February 2008. You know when it hit? February 2010.
Crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Because the internet wasn't moving as fast back then, and like, people would just, it was a word of mouth thing. That's why I tell people all the time, artists that ask me anything about music, just be good. Really be good, and have a purpose behind what you're doing, because purpose-driven things go. They got gas on them. You know what I'm saying? We all want money. Yes, it's nice. My lifestyle is not cheap. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely want money. But if we have purpose behind what we doing, the paper gonna fall. It's gonna get to you some kind of way, And I think that I did have a head start, in the sense that I just never really had budgets, I would just make pretty much full albums and call them mixtapes, because I just couldn't afford to pay the producers to get a mix. You know what I mean? So it's like, get them mixed and mastered. So I think that guerrilla style came from my love of hip hop, because I'm an R&B singer that's really a rapper. If you've ever seen me live, you know what I'm saying. I do my own ad-libs and everything. I mean, you know what I mean? So it's like, I think I did have a head start.
Definitely. We got any more questions?
Hey, Steve.
Hey, what's up?
Shout out Steve, he's my camera guy.
Salute.
So thank you very much for for being here with you. So
Thank you, bro.
Talking about the songs and how people relate. I lost my mum a few years ago, so I really relate to share this song.
I didn't even know that, Steve.
So I really relate to that song. It
Aww.
really touches me. But on track 7 with Take Me, with Raphael Sadiq, the credits go to, for the strings on that, go to a guy called Claire Fisher.
Yes.
And I just wonder if you could talk a little bit more on that.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys know who Claire Fisher is, and if you don't feel any kind of way, because you would have to be like some type of like music historian to really pay attention. I mean, to know that you would have to pay attention to credits. But Claire Fisher was introduced to me by Raphael Sadiq, who produced Take Me. I remember the song was done. I was like, oh, this is so dope. I love it. I love it. And then he goes, no, we need strings. And we need Claire Fisher strings. I was like, okay. And he was like, no, we need Claire Fisher strings. I'm like, okay. I don't give a shit. He passed away, my nigga. So, and he's like, no, Claire Fisher. He's like, Claire Fisher did strings on Prince. Purple Rain, all that stuff. Claire Fisher did the strings, you know, and so that blew me away, because here I am. First of all, I'm gonna be very honest with you. This self-love I have for myself and all this confidence, it was fake when I made Complex Simplicity. So I felt very minute most of the time. I didn't really think I was that good of an artist. I didn't really think I knew what I was doing. I was around so many talented people. Raphael Sadiq, this man is extremely talented. So, you know, I felt like little old me, I'm gonna get strings from the same person that gave strings to Prince. The same person that did strings on Anniversary. And I was really blown away. And just yesterday at Soundcheck, we were just playing the backtracks, you know, that we have, the programming, and the strings came on. And I swear to you, if you saw how everybody on stage who are really profound musicians, we just kind of got lost in the trance of the strings. And in that moment, I didn't realize how grateful I was, you know, because I've heard that 1,000,001 times. Wah, 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 wah. When the first, you know, part of the song comes on, I've heard it 1,000,001 times, but I didn't feel that level of gratitude until that moment when I realized what I really had. He's dead now. It's not too many people that got Claire Fisher strings, you know, he's dead. They cost $25,000, which is more than I probably take to make a whole album now, but it's okay, I got them, and I'm really grateful for that.
How does an artist on their debut album get those kind of names, like Raphael Sadiq?
That's a good story.
How did that even happen?
Okay, so shout out to this chick I used to be friends with. Her name is Erica Connor. And she was really good friends with Raphael Sadiq. So I live in LA. I used to live in LA. And in LA, being around other popular people or celebrities is really no big deal. I mean, you know, you can just be at the mall and run into famous people. It's no big deal. So I was at my friend's house at the time. Erica, she did a Christmas party. And at the Christmas party, Raphael was there. Now, he's my friend, so I could be straight up. I didn't really give a shit. I didn't care, because I didn't really listen to Tony and stuff like that when I was young. I listened to hip-hop music. I was like if Q-Tip was there, I probably lost my shit. You know what I mean? But I listened to a lot of hip-hop, so I just wasn't really paying attention. And I was in the kitchen, probably talking shit. That's what I'll be doing. And I was in the kitchen, and I heard my sampler come on, because we had a sampler that we passed out before we even. Back then, they used to make CD samplers, you know. And so she was playing it, and I was like, I just wanted to sink into the wall, because like I said, I didn't feel very good. I didn't think I was that dope, and it was just like, I didn't even care that Raphael was listening to it. Like I said, I didn't even care he was there. So I just was like, what the hell? So she was playing it, and I guess he asked her, who is that, you know? So I remember later on, we were all huddling outside smoking a joint, you know, and we were making jokes and stuff like that, and he was really cool. So I was like, hey, okay, he's cool, so I like him now, you know what I mean, because I think he's cool. And so the next day, she calls me like, yo, Raphael would love for you to come to the studio. And that's literally how it happened. It was organic, just like that. Lil Jon on my album was just because we were on the same label, but I never sought out big producers, you know, I never did.
Jadakiss?
Jadakiss was 25 grand. My shout out.
No favors there.
No, shout out. I ain't mad at him. He ain't know me from dirt. But, shout out my A&R and one of my really good friends, Brian Leach. He was just like, we need Jadakiss. At the time, Jada was on everybody's songs. I was like, I don't want him. everybody, I'm just always rebellious. And he was like, no, I'm telling you, it's gonna be really dope. And I swear to you, no one has ever, I've done a couple of records with a lot of different rappers, no one has ever gave me a verse that really, because rappers will rap about
anything.
Unicorns on your shit. You know what I'm saying?
Nothing to do with you.
No, it got nothing to do with me. So it was like a verse they had from some record, But he really took the time. I think he bodied that. I think we have one of the most slept on collaborations. I swear, it's for a rapper and an R&B singer.
Do you know what's funny? So I don't even know if I told you this. I met Teedra Moses. Teedra Moses did the Ill Out show. I don't know if you guys remember this TV show I did back in the day.
Yes! Oh my God!
So Teedra did this in 04, and you were very shy. You wouldn't speak to nobody. You just kept your corner. And to see you now, I just want to know, where did that change?
You never told me. Yo, I swear,
we weren't we were cool then. You were just an artist that we had booked to come on the show, and he left, but it was fine. But I do see the change in you. Where did the confidence come from? What was the moment or the thing that helped you find your confidence?
I think this whole thing helped me. You know what I mean? I swear, I thought I was on an island with my emotions and the way I felt and the things I thought. I just thought I was extremely strange. They told me that my whole life. Girl, you wear, Teedra. That's what they say. So I think that I thought that I was strange, and I think that when I saw people relate to my honesty, it just started making me feel like, okay, well, fucking, I ain't the only one. So I got more confident in who I am, just knowing that I'm not the only one. Now it's gotten to a point that I just don't give a shit. And the truth is, when I was a young girl, they used to say, Teedra doesn't care if the boat don't never land. I don't give a shit, right? So then you get older and you start to meet boys and you start to care. And then you get into this music shit and then you start to care, And then at a certain point, I just stopped caring. And I think that is the most beautiful thing you can do with your life.
It's a superpower.
It's a superpower. Yeah.
We got any more questions for Teedra? Anyone shout? Here you go. Take a couple more. Hold on. Backstroke.
And I would love to know the inspiration for the song.
Whoa.
Okay. So that's kind of a given, but I'll go for it. My children's father and I, that's my most epic relationship, I guess. It's the only person I think that ever really loved me. I think his resemblance to my father is just crazy. He's just a person that didn't know how to love himself. I hope he's learning how, but to this day I don't think he truly knows how to love himself. But the one thing we had this crazy connection on, was we had great sex, and that's just really what it broke down to. So for a long time, it's I could not stand him. He made me so sick, but we would just always have great sex. You know what I'm saying? It's just maybe it's because that is the person that I was really, connected to, heart, mind, and soul. But, he had a nice sized penis, so I'm just saying, and he was pretty good at using it. And I think he really loved me, you know what I'm saying? So there was an emotional thing in there too. And I think that, that's kind of how that worked. And he's all of 2 inches taller than me, so don't believe the height, okay? I had big feet and all that. I think he wears a size 7 or some shit like that. But yeah, that's pretty much where it came from. I was drawn. It was a very hard thing for me to tear away from that part of it, and I really couldn't stand him. But the sex was really good. Yeah.
Do we have any more questions?
Do you have any situations like that? Ace, tell us all about it.
Whoa. Yeah, I'm a virgin. I'm here. Go for it.
Hi Teedra, thank you for your time this evening.
Thank you.
I have maybe a question and a statement. Really love your journey, and I guess my question statement is, I see that you're working with your sons now.
Yes.
Could you talk more on that?
I would love to.
It's amazing seeing how you guys putting out music together and yeah.
It's probably one of the best feelings in the world, because for me, I just want to be a purpose, and I know that my kids probably went through a lot of sacrifice in their life because I was an artist, not just because I was traveling or anything like this, because I'm an artist and we're weird. And God gave me 2, so when I was, locked off in my room writing and smoking and doing whatever I was doing, they had each other. And sometimes I felt and there was times when I didn't have money, like I should have for my children, because I was sticking to what I do, you know, and it thankfully it's come back around, but it went down for a second because I chose not to write songs anymore and just focus on myself, and that was a slope I had to take, you know, and I know that a lot of times they suffered from that. And for them to come back and be like, I want to do music, means that I can, you know, say I didn't do that bad because they want to do it. But not only for them to come back and say they want to do music, because they could have come back and said they want to do music and been whack, and I had to tell them, no, you're not. You know what I mean? Better go to school, because you're not going to mess up my name. And your daddy's pretty dope too, so we ain't having it, right? But they're really, really good. And more than anything, they have something to say. Like, they really understand the purpose behind the gift. And they were on the Queen and Slim soundtrack. They have a song, oh shoot, it's called Queen and Slim, with BJ the Chicago Kid, really great record. They're getting ready to do a couple of dates with Rhapsody on her American tour. And these are things that I didn't go out and get for my sons. They literally went to LA 4 years ago, and this is the results of their hustle. And they're not people that chase things. They just literally just like allow God. And I think that I can say once again, you know, it's something they possibly learned from me. A lot of it is within them. They came here with a lot of stuff already in them I can't take credit for, but I think them seeing my journey and not running away from it is just one of the most beautiful things. We've made music, but I think the most special song we've ever done is on the 15 Years of Complex Simplicity album, where they came in on I Think of You and rapped about me. You don't know how many times I listened to that and just cried and cried and cried, because as a mom, you just want to do good, you know what I mean? I'm by myself, just a little kid raising kids. I'm, you know, loaded half the time, in the studio half the time, and then when I'm not, I'm yelling at them to be better, you know, and to see them turn out like they did, it's just like, I would put my 24-year-old sons up to next to a 44-year-old man. You know what I mean? That's how hard-bodied they are as young men, and I'm really appreciative of that. And they're really, I would put them up against any rapper. Any rapper. They got bars. I mean, I just don't even understand how their minds work. They're so talented. So I'm really grateful.
Are they coming to you for game on the industry? Are they asking you for advice?
I told them, don't ask. I don't know.
You don't know?
Cause look, like I'm still, you know what I mean? I don't know. I guess I just don't know. What I do give them advice about is music. I always tell them be good, cause that's all I know, Ace. Do good music. Get up and rock the show. Be good to people. Connect. That's what I know. First of all, people always want to talk to me about the industry. I don't know anything about the music industry. You know what I do know? About the industry of fucking Teedra Moses. Okay. That's what I know. That's what I've been working on forever.
I hear that. Do you have any more questions? We can take a couple more. Don't be shy now. There you go. There's one over there. Can we get a mic over there?
Hi.
Hi, beautiful.
Hi, you're right. I just want to say you're amazing.
Thank you.
And I've seen you before perform, and
Thank
you really do groove the stage. But I wanted to know what your 5 top tips are for your day when you're feeling really low. Like, what do you do to get out of that? Because I feel that mental health is something serious at the moment. And
I agree.
Especially for artists. So yeah.
The number one thing is gratitude. So I think if you're in a low space, if you can find just 3, it could just be breath. It could be sunlight. I mean, I don't get too much of that here, but I'm just playing. I'm just fucking with y'all. No, I'm just joking. Yeah, but it could be any 3 things that you can find to give yourself a uplift, because you have, you know, when you're low, you're thinking you have nothing to feel good about. So if you can find 3 things to give thanks for, that's a good start. Number 2 is like, really, in any moment that you're low, I think you should dig inside yourself and find the origin. And most 9 times out of 10, it has nothing to do with you. It's coming from outside of you. So if you can find the capabilities in that kind of dark time to try to find the origin of like what's really going on, and kind of weed out the outside thing, and then do something. The third thing I would say, I don't know if you have some 3 or 5, but I'm gonna give you 3. The third thing I would say is to do something that makes you feel good about you. Not like buy something. That's not what I'm saying, because that's what me and my family do. We just buy shit. That's why we broke all the time. But I know when my mother died, we bought everything. I bought houses, cars, all kind of shit. But anyway, you find something that, like with me, it's music. Luckily, I have that. If you are an artist, what is your art? Because that makes you feel good. Like my playbacks are orgasmic. You know what I mean? It feels so good when I listen to what I just did. Sometimes I'll have to do a show and I have to go listen through songs. I feel so good. So find something that is not monetary that you can do, or something that you've done in your life, or something you've overcome, and feel good about yourself. Find that thing that is undeniable. You have to attribute to yourself and give yourself a pat on the back. And darling, don't wait for people to pat you on your back. Please don't do that. You know what I mean? Find something, like if you do something good, like get your pom-poms up, jump up and down for yourself, because you can't look for things external. It's not guaranteed, you know?
We had one more question at the back there. Oh, sorry, one sec. There you go. I'm soundman as well.
So within the process of like performing, recording, writing, like what's your favorite part overall?
I think writing, because that's when I'm just by myself, and I really be impressing myself sometimes, like, oh, that was hard, you know? I think that's probably my favorite part. And the weird thing about that is I look in the mirror when I do it, you know? Like, I get in the mirror and I kind of like, it's weird. I act it all out and stuff. It's fun. But I do like performing too. I think that's probably my second favorite because of you guys, you know, the energy. Just the writing is recording is the worst. I hate that because you got to try to really get it right, you know. When you singing live, if you off, you just got to give good energy. It don't matter, you know what I'm saying? Like, hit a note the next time, you know what I mean? Come back on the right now. Yeah, that's it.
Speaking of live shows, you got three more in the UK?
I have 3 more.
Tomorrow night you're out in Streatham at the Hideaway. That's sold out though, right?
That is sold out. It's some standing room, they said.
There's some standing.
Yeah, sit down, but if you want to stand, it's cool because it's better when you stand up anyway.
Yeah, exactly. You're in Birmingham on the 29th and you're in Manchester
on the 28th.
On the 28th, there
yes.
you go.
Mm-hmm.
And we can expect that new album, That Bullshit.
You can expect the single Cashmere Compliments in March. And hopefully May for the new album, but the March definitely for the single.
And you'll be back here soon, right? Promoting that, I guess.
I will definitely be back here, all up in your face.
Of course. and one more time, for Complex Simplicity, because we are celebrating the 15th anniversary of it, like, what would you like the legacy of the album to be?
I don't know if I want it to be anything more than what it's already been. If it could just continue to be that, you know, people come to me like, it's weird, but people come to me like shaking and crying sometimes, saying that this really helped them. So at first that weirded me out and I wanted to stop, but now I understand that it just ain't got nothing to do with me, you know, because it's a lot to carry, you know, when people try to make it feel like you somebody special. I don't like that. But it's a lot to carry, but I hope that it can continue to, a young man came to me the other night and he said, I just want you to know that what you're doing is really wonderful. I was like, oh, thank you, because people say that all the time. He's like, no. Really, what you're about, you know, you constantly tell people to love themselves. It comes through in your music and blah, blah, blah. And like, I think that I just want that to continue with with that album. Like, I just hope it just makes people feel like whoever they are is enough.
You are special. Isn't she? So
we're all special, baby. We're all children of God.
You can stop walking. She walks around Camden High Street like she's not Teedra Moses. Like, you're Teedra.
I am Teedra Moses. I'm one of the baddest bitches on the planet, but we all are. You know, like, it's nothing special. Like, we all are. I come from a family full of badass women. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is my brother. He's a great guy. Like, you know, I don't think that anyone is special, really. I mean, I seriously met Prince 3 times. By the second time, I was like, what's up, my nigga?
Let's have a round of applause for Teedra Moses. Thank you so much for coming out. And we'll do this again at some point soon. Thank you guys for coming out.
Thank you.
Fiona Hall was our DJ tonight. Make some noise for her. And you guys can hang out until 9 o'clock. We're going to run some rhythms, get a drink, hang out. Thank you very much one more time for Teedra.
Thank you.